Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm gonna show you how to go from texting a woman to going on a date in a way that's confident and attractive. No sleazy tactics here. Everything's gonna be authentic, and I got a framework here to show you. This video is broken down into 3 steps. First, we're gonna cover your texting mindset. Then we'll cover some texting strategies. Again, I got some actionable steps here to help you do that. And then finally, we'll have a sort of a role play texting quiz just to see what you learned in this video. Okay, part 1 is your mindset. Stop flirting and texting all day long. Texting is for 2 reasons. Again, this is obviously in the case where you want to advance a conversation forward and go on a date, but it's for 2 reasons only: light flirting and fucking logistics. Making the plan to go on a date. This bullshit of, hey, what are you doing at 7 p.m? I'm watching Netflix. Have you seen this movie? Maybe we can text and watch it together. Shut the fuck up. You sound dumb. You sound unattractive. Okay, next, direct and honest communication always wins. Always, always, always. It is your job to be proactive. If you want to ask her out on a date, that's your job. If you want to know why she's being so flaky and inconsistent, that's your job to call it out. If you value your time, which is your most precious asset, you need to figure that out. Don't ask 17 fucking friends, hey bro, she sent me a text 2 days ago. She didn't put the emoji that she usually puts. What do you think you mean? You sound stupid. Your friend doesn't know. I don't know. Neither one of us is God. Stop doing the committee approach. If there's something you want to figure out, you be proactive with direct and honest communication. Again, I got some examples here I'm going to show you. A lot of this may shock you if you're not used to talking like this, but that's why you're watching this video, because I really want to help you be confident in your conversations. Finally, when it comes to mindset, never, and I mean never, sacrifice your self-respect. Nobody is worth that. Nobody. If you try a couple times to ask her out and she's being a little bit flaky, a little bit hesitant, or just not replying, let it go. Nobody's worth that. In fact, if that is the case, you should reframe that interaction as, wow, thank God I dodged a bullet. Clearly she has communication issues. Clearly she doesn't value me. She doesn't respect me or my time and doesn't really care about me. Think about it for a second. When you meet someone for the first time, they're brand new. You don't have past history. You don't have past drama. There haven't been arguments, which means this is when they should show their best version of themselves, correct? So if they're showing this side of themselves, that they're super inconsistent and inconsiderate, let them go. Be thankful that you dodged a bullet. You see the difference here? That's how a confident man looks at the world, with that sort of abundance mentality, okay? That is part 1, your mindset. Now let's cover part 2, your texting strategy. Now I have a framework here I want to show you. It's called How to Take the Conversation Forward using a system I call ABC texts. I know, super clever. This is basically how it works. The A texts are the first few text messages, like exchanging pleasantries, if you will. The B texts are where you're trying to find something in common. And then the C texts are when you actually ask them out. Okay, so it would look something like this. Ideally, you're doing this within 10 text messages. Okay, now obviously every situation is unique. I don't know your situation. All right, so I'm just trying to give you some general framework that you can follow. The point is you just want to advance the conversation. Okay, now let's go over a few examples so I can show you how this works. But before I do that, I want to show you the key problem areas that most men have, and that is in these 2 areas. They stay too long in the B text. They're just texting for days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, morning till night. They send the type of text messages where you gotta do one of these, you know, where you just scroll up and it's just a novel. Bro, I mean, come on, man. What are you doing? The second problem area, they don't know how to advance the conversation from B to C, so they get stuck here. These are the 2 problem areas I'm gonna help you avoid so that you can present yourself in a way that is authentic to who you are while also communicating your confidence. All right, now before I show you these examples, I just want to say that these strategies are for women that you've met in real life at a social gathering or wherever, or online. All right, now I'm not a big fan of online dating. In fact, if you're somebody that's struggling with confidence, I don't recommend it, but these strategies apply to both. If you do want to improve how you approach women and say hello, I do have a free 1-page cheat sheet for you. It's called 3 kind but easy steps to start a conversation with any woman. The link is in the description. It's 1 page, okay? And you will find that very helpful. Anyways, let's proceed with the examples. I just want to give you that sort of info, if you will, so that you know that these can apply for both. All right, so example 1. You met, you exchange numbers. So you send a text message, right? So we're in the first A text. Great to meet you. Love how easy you are to talk to. Simple, direct, clear. You exchange some pleasantries. Then in the next stage, in the B text, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? So now you're learning about them, you're finding some common denominators, you're just finding things you guys have in common, okay? And then C text, what's your schedule like? You're giving the clue that you want to meet in real life, okay? And we do that, again, prior to 10 text messages. That's one example. Let me show you another example. Number 2. So maybe you met this person in real life somewhere and you're just saying, hey, loved your energy. Doing anything wild this week? That's it. And if you've noticed here, I'm not even saying hello. I'm bypassing the hello for both of these examples because hello is kind of overrated. Anyways, so that is the A text for this second example. Then in the B text, at some point you say, what's one thing a lot of people don't know about you? That kind of question breeds deep conversations. It just makes the conversation a little bit juicier. It just makes it fun, right? And you want to come across as light, fun, and confident, okay? And then in the C text, are you around these days? Are you local this weekend? That type of thing. Again, these are just some examples of what you would say during each stage of the conversation, okay? These are 2 correct ways. Let me show you the wrong way. The wrong way would be something like this. Sup, sexy? What you doing later tonight? Okay, now I don't know how old you are. I'm big on coming across as classy, gentleman-like, which I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've kind of picked up on that vibe. So I'm not into this pickup artist bullshit. So I personally wouldn't do this type of thing. It just comes across as you being a little douchey. So I would stay away from that, especially if you're looking for a meaningful relationship. And then when it comes to the B text, do you like to drink? Again, it's just boring. It's just typical. It's lame. I wouldn't do that either. And then C text, are you free today? If not, I'm also free tomorrow or the day after. That just reeks of neediness because it's just very apparent. You got nothing going on in your life. And so can you imagine if you sent that text and she's like, well, actually, I'm not free either of those days. That just doesn't look good. So I would not do that, okay? So these are just some high-level examples of how this can work for you, okay? So now we are in part 3, the texting quiz. I gave you the mindset. I gave you the strategy, high-level framework, how to advance the conversation forward from A to B to C. Again, this is all high level right now, right? Now I want to give you 5 scenarios and I want to see how you would handle them. Let's just tackle these one by one, all right? Scenario 1, you've been texting a girl for 2 weeks. She said she'll get back to you about her schedule, but she didn't. What do? Here are your options. You can text her, hey, I asked you about my schedule, but you didn't get back to me. You could pretend it never happened and try again, or you could ignore her. Take a couple seconds. What would you do if this happened to you? Personally, I would go with number 2. Pretend it never happened and try again. Why? Because this only happened one time. Maybe she forgot. Maybe she's busy. You're not the only guy chasing her. I don't know if you know that or not, but you're not, in case nobody told you. So there's a lot of reasons why she didn't get back to you. You don't want to overwhelm yourself trying to figure this out. It only happened one time. So forget about it. Don't mention it. Just try again, okay? You're still confident if you do this. It's if you keep trying where you come across as insecure and needy, all right? I hope that's clear. That's scenario 1 or question 1 of 5, I should say, for the quiz. I hope this makes sense what we're doing here. By the way, if you like this type of stuff, this quiz, let me know in the comments. And if you're finding any of these tips, advice helpful, do me a favor and hit subscribe, like this video so I know that this style of advice is helpful for you. It takes me a lot of time to kind of put these slides together. And I just want to make sure that it's helpful because I could just talk to the camera, but I feel like this additional content helps educate you on what I think is the best way to live your life in a way that's confident and authentic, okay? Now let's go to question number 2. Everything seemed to be going well, but then she didn't reply to your text last week. So you tried again yesterday and she still hasn't gotten back to you. Here are your options. Hey stranger, when will you be free? So you send a 3rd text. Or do you try again in a week? Or do you let it go and just date other women? If it were me, I would let it go and date other women. Why? Because like we said, you want to maintain your self-respect. Remember, we talked about this already. If you send 2 text messages and she doesn't get back to you, dude, you really just don't want to send a 3rd. I get it. Exceptions can be made, all right? These are not hard 100% rules. I'm just trying to give you a general high-level framework that you can embed in your brain so that when you run into these scenarios, they'll cover most scenarios. Many things could be happening right now. Either she's not ready to date, or she's further along with some other guy, or she just got out of a breakup, or something else that I don't know. Again, you don't want to ruminate about this because nobody can tell you the answer. Now, I know many of you may be like, well then dude, how come she just doesn't tell me she's not interested? This is where your intelligence in this area shows, because women are non-confrontational. So just because you would call out a homie or you would call out a woman you like as like, hey, why wouldn't you do this? And you feel comfortable, doesn't mean they feel comfortable with that approach. Everybody's different. Women don't like conflict. Most women, of course, especially if she's had a bad experience. So while you may be a calm guy and you've given her nothing but green flags, that doesn't mean you don't have a crazy side. I'm not saying you do, of course, but she doesn't know you well enough. So she doesn't want to potentially deal with an outburst or you getting angry, so she just lets it go. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just trying to tell you why it may have occurred, okay? Let's go to scenario 3. You planned a date last week, but she flaked and you are noticing some inconsistency in her behavior. One day she's hot, the next she's cold, and you can't figure out what's going on. What do you do? This is common for a lot of dudes. Hey name, I'm interested in getting to know you more. Would you like to get together sometime? If not, that's totally fine as well. Number 2, hey name, what are you up to today? Number 3, let it go and date other women. So what would you do here? In my eyes, you have 2 options. So this is kind of a trick question. You can send a direct text message. Hey name, I'm interested in getting to know you more. Would you like to get together sometime? Hope all is well. Or you let it go and date other women. That's up to you to decide. I can't tell you how long you want to stay and potentially talk to this woman, but I do recommend that if you have other options and you feel confident enough, ask a direct question like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You are not sacrificing your confidence by saying, hey, I'm interested in getting to know you more. Would you like to get together sometime? If not, that's okay as well. You're setting boundaries. You're letting her know, like, listen, I respect you and I respect myself and I don't want to waste my time. I'm not here to play games. That's a very sexy and attractive quality, okay? Scenario 4. She said she just got out of a breakup and isn't sure what she wants. This is tricky for a lot of guys. What would you do? Here are your options. You can ask her about her breakup. What happened? What happened with the guy? Are you okay? You can keep texting her until she's ready, whatever that means. Or you let it go, and if she texts you again, then you can hang out. What would you do here? I would suggest that you let it go, and if she texts you again, you can hang out, but you just want to be a little bit cautious here, okay? Because she just got out of a breakup, and we aren't really sure where her emotions are. Is she even emotionally ready? So this is what I would do if I were you. I would say, hey, good to hear from you. I remember you mentioning you recently had a breakup. Are you emotionally ready to date? This is a confident and direct question. You want her to be above 90%. You want her to be that ready. She may not be at 100%. That's okay. But you want her to feel at least 90% ready. And this is exactly what I would say. Are you emotionally ready to date? Okay? This is how a confident man lives their life. They're not wasting time. Just because she's hot or you think maybe there's a chance, sure, maybe. You could be gambling your own emotions and gambling a lot of your time. So I'd be careful. Finally, the last question. During the C-text, she says she wants to get to know you more for a few weeks before hanging out in person. This probably more than likely happens more in online dating. But what would you do? Here are your options. Keep texting and get to know her more. Send her this text. I understand, but I would rather meet sooner rather than later to see if we have a real world connection. Or would you let it go and date other women? Again, she says she just needs a little bit more time. What would you do? Here's what you do. The answer is up to you, my friend. I can't tell you what you should do in every scenario. Some of it is based off how you want to live your life. I can give you a framework in a way that helps you come off as authentic and honest to who you are while also being confident. But some of these things is really up to you. If you want to be patient with one girl in particular, that's up to you. That's okay with me. If you want to let it go and date other women, that's fine too. If you want to be direct and ask a question, I think that's fine as well. I hope this entire process and framework was helpful. If you are personally struggling with deep conversations and you want to go from small talk to big talk, check out this video right here where I show you an easy, detailed framework on how to do that in 5 steps, okay? Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, please click subscribe, hit that big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I got some free resources as well. The 1-page cheat sheet in the link in the description, all right? Check it out. See you guys later.